decide which story to tell in your video? Because it seems like Dorcas would be a wealth of all kinds of amazing stories and insights into town. So how did you decide on this one?
So what happened was, like, we interviewed her 4 times, ended up having over 4 hours of tape to listen to, consistently edit out, and then it got to be the point where it was just really overwhelming for all of us. So we actually brought in, what was her name?
Mary Rizos from the Vermont Folklife Center.
Yeah, we brought her in. She was a great resource. And then we ended up putting together a storyboard, and we thought that it would be best to talk about Green Trails and Jesse Fisk and keep it centered on Brookfield instead of going everywhere. But it was also considered that we would have a few different pieces or centering on different parts of her stories. So I think that we're definitely going to continue that and also bring other members of the Historical Society into the piece with Randolph. So yeah, it was really difficult, but in the end, we just thought we should keep it community-based.
I would add too that, one of the challenges, we've been working mostly just with audio, making radio pieces. And so bringing in the video element was a new challenge. And we were kind of working with some of the archival materials that we had in a big binder that Dorcas has kept on Jesse over the years. So a lot of the images that we had to go with it really centered around Jesse and Green Trails.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Any plans to put this on the Historical Society's website or YouTube or anything?
I thought that was yeah.
Short answer, yes. I think we're curious what feels like it would be. We can definitely put this movie on YouTube, and I think the reason why I'm holding this cell phone right now while I'm talking to you is because Elaine had asked us to tape this event too and put some sort of video up, which won't be as professional quality as this, but at least will hopefully allow people to see it. And then if there are other... And then we also have all of these interviews that are unedited, but, these sort of archivable files on a computer. And we'd love to talk to whoever wants to sort of take that on to sort of figure out what's the best form for us to get them to you so so you can access them in the future.
I'm curious if there could be a show of hands of how many people that are present actually knew Jesse?
I have a question on that one. How many of them people here worked at Green Trails? Yeah.
So for the several years that Craig and I owned Green Trails Inn, Jesse's presence was very much there, and I have so many stories I can share about her ghost, and it was in a nice way. I mean, she really supported me through my trying to learn how to be an innkeeper. But one of the best things was that about every couple of days, someone would come over and stop, sometimes from out of town, and they would have been children who had taken lessons from Jesse, or people who had, when they were children, or people who had worked at the inn, and people were always begging, can we go up to Hag's Haven? And that was the attic, and I guess she had, like the kids would stay up in the attic, and of course then now it's in rooms. But it was just delightful. Her legacy just continued in such an amazing way. So thank you so much for this. It brings back a lot of wonderful memories.
It was really cool to learn about it, definitely, because I love history, and I've always learned about history like outside of my little town of like the Revolutionary War and stuff like that. So when we got the chance to meet, I wanted to know everything and anything that happened in Vermont and Brookfield around those times. So it was really cool to be able to learn about somebody as amazing as Jesse was.
Steve, you got a question?
Not a question. Some of you, probably many of you know John Oja, who grew up on his parents' farm down in the valley. He was the middle of 3 brothers. And he went to Rutgers, and I'm sure he went because of Jesse's influence or help.
Dorcas, did,
Yeah.
Dorcas, did Jesse own the store too? Did they own all that?
No, my father owned the store.
Your
He
father
bought that
owned
in
the store.
1965. Jesse died in 66, and my father and his brother inherited Green Trails. So with the store and the post office and Green Trails, it was practically the center of Brookfield. He owned.
Who owned the store before? Who owned the store before your father?
Uh,
Davis.
no, that Davis was Ray. And I don't know their first name.
Question in the back there?
This one's a little tangential, but we're obviously being treated to the wealth of a senior memories. And I know that there are plenty of others within this room and in the community at large. And my question is really to you. Is there any way that you can share some of your skills that some of these kinds of stories could be captured by others as well and not be limited to your little group?
Yeah, I think that's something that we've talked about. I think we're sort of looking at this as an experiment in kind of doing this kind of partnership between the school and the community around. So short answer, yes. I don't think we've thought through all of the details yet, but I think we're definitely hoping to. I think you have an idea that you want to move on right now, so maybe you want to speak about that. But I'll also just say, in the future, I think we're definitely talking about trying to figure out a way to make part of the American history curriculum, doing some sort of oral history with folks in the community. So I'll leave contact info if there are people who we should talk to. But I also love the idea of doing some sort of a workshop for community members that is, led by kids or organized by kids who are developing these skills. So we have dreams, not yet plans, I would say, in that direction.
But Ted is taping this, so anybody with some more adjunct stories, of which there are many in here, could be speaking now.
Yeah. Bree, do you want to just talk a little bit about, because you have another next step planned this year? Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you mean after this year?
No, sorry. This after
project-
this, this
Okay,
year.
yeah. So
Yes.
I wanted to continue with Bonnie because she just has an amazing realm of people that she knows, and I think it would be really amazing for you and I to do an interview together and do something like this. And I think it would be not sort of an interview based, but more of a conversation that we can record and to kind of make it more of a funny piece so that people can listen to it and kind of spark interest in talking to people about their past and stuff. And I also had an idea of lending out recorders to those of who want to do a audio diary, and then they can then donate it to the Randolph PBL, and then the kids there can work with it, and then create the pieces. Then that way, it's kind of it's everybody's together, and it's not as vigorous as this was. To just kind of make it a little easier on everybody else. So I think that's one of the ideas that we could do or talk about later.
And we have a couple people that want to